Hey, what's up guys? So in this video, I want to talk about the only problem with full body workouts after the age of 40. Now, for those of you guys who follow my channel, you know I'm pretty big on full body workouts twice a week. Full body twice a week is like the crux of my training philosophy. And so I wanted to make this video while this topic is top of mind. I just got back from the gym and I was thinking about this because I was hitting a full body workout, as per my 2-day per week schedule. And I started my workout off with weighted chin-ups, right? 2 sets of weighted chin-ups, and my first set was like 80 pounds, right? And so I cranked out my 2 sets, and I was scheduled to do leg press next because that was what's next in my full body workout, right? And I reached this point where I was like, there's no fucking way I'm doing leg press right now. I was absolutely dusted after the 2 sets of weighted chin-ups, and this is something that I've been sort of running into repeatedly as of late, and that's why I wanted to make this video to sort of touch on like the only issue that you might run into with the whole full body twice a week setup that I talk about a lot. Now, for those of you who don't know, like I built most of my base training only 2 days per week. And so my clients as well, my clients in their 40s, 50s, and 60s see amazing results with this full body twice a week approach. I've also spent long stretches training 3 times per week, but I never recommend going beyond that. So if you're following my system, you're always training 2-3 days per week max. Most of my progress has been made on the full body twice a week setup, and I want to preface with that before I go into what I'm going to talk about in this video. But I want to sort of address like the problem that I've been running into with the full body twice a week setup and the issue that you might see eventually as well. So the thing is, full body workouts are not always the best choice. 9 times out of 10, they are the best choice. For most people, it's simply all you need. But in this video, I'll cover the pros and the cons of full body training and when you're actually better off switching to split routines. So let's start with the upside of full body workouts. So when you're in the first few years of training, you're in your base building stage where you're just trying to pack on your initial muscle and strength, nothing beats full body workouts. They are the most effective when it comes to building your base. And the base building stage is where most of you guys are. So you probably don't even need to worry about this video, to be 100% honest with you. And the thing is that most of my clients are not yet at that super advanced stage when it comes to strength. And for them, full body is absolutely perfect. It's what I have most of them do. And honestly, for a lot of you guys, it might be all that you'll ever need. For many goals, for the goal that most people have when it comes to building muscle, building strength, you're probably never gonna have to do anything else than just a full body twice a week setup. And this is why I talk about it so much, is because for most people's goals, it is actually as optimal as it gets. It's literally the best thing that you could do. In terms of like, if your goal is just to have some muscles, to have some strength, it's to look good naked, it's to fight, sarcopenia as you get older. For that goal, full body twice a week is all you'll ever need, because for that goal, you don't really need to be pushing into like super advanced numbers. You're not gonna have to be doing weighted chin-ups with 100 pounds, you know what I mean? And it's also just an amazing split when you have a busy schedule, and it's also the best split for having maximum recovery, which is really beneficial for a lot of guys over 40. Now here's where the full body twice a week routine can break down a little bit. So once you're strong, it gets really tough to stack big, heavy compound lifts back to back. And that was what I was basically explaining to you at the beginning of this video. Like I started my workout today with 2 sets of heavy weighted chin-ups, doing like 80 pounds for reps on the first set. After that, I was like, no way am I gonna be able to do leg press right now. Like going from like heavy squats or leg press to doing like chin-ups, doing bench press, really, really difficult once you're lifting any significant weight. Like your performance just suffers on all of the exercises after the first one. You simply cannot fit everything into 2 workouts without the back half of the session turning into junk volume, because you're literally just trashed. And when you reach that point, I think it does make more sense to follow a split routine. So if you're advanced, or even if like you're starting to run into these sort of downsides, you're probably better off breaking things into a 3-day split routine. That way you can keep the intensity high in your workouts without burning out, right? And this is when I like to switch to sort of like an upper, lower, upper split. Again, I'd never go beyond 3 workouts a week, but this is like the sort of thing that I've found throughout my almost decade of training experience now. I've sort of bounced back and forth between the full body twice a week split and the upper lower upper split. I find that those are like the 2 best workout splits that you can do, and they serve sort of different purposes. Like when you're starting to run into the issue that I'm running into right now, it does make more sense to sort of split things up a little bit more. It keeps the sessions brief, and doesn't impede your intensity. So like today, after doing those weighted chin-ups, there's no way, I knew deep down, like there's no way I'm gonna be able to do justice to this leg press. There's no way I'm gonna be able to do justice to like the overhead press that came after it. Like I was pretty much shot at that point, right? And that's the problem that you might run into eventually with full body workouts. Now again, most of you guys might not ever have to worry about this. Like you just might not ever have to worry about this. I've been training for like almost 10 years now. So like obviously when you reach that certain level of, like when you reach that advanced level, you have to be a little bit more careful. But if you're not lifting like too heavy of weight, it's not gonna really impact you to go from doing squats to then doing chin-ups to then doing bench press, because it's just not that overall taxing for you. But if you're doing squats with like 400 pounds and then you have to do weighted chin-ups after that with 100 pounds in your belt, that's really, really difficult. It's very, very taxing. And unless you have like an incredible work capacity, it's really difficult to be able to do justice to any of the exercises that come after that first one. Now, a couple of quick caveats to what I just said here. If you are cutting, always stick to 2 full body workouts. Like that is always gonna be the best way to train when your goal is fat loss. It keeps appetite low and improves your recovery, gives you more rest days, which is really important when you're in a calorie deficit and you are in a recovery deficit, you're in an energy deficit, right? Now, also, if you hate full body workouts, don't force yourself to do them because you're not going to stick with it. You know, like maybe you might not be that advanced, but maybe you are sort of feeling these negative downsides. Don't force yourself to do the full body workouts if it's like if it feels like a pain in the ass to get through them. You want to actually enjoy your routines. If you don't like full body workouts, just don't do them. Another caveat is like if your work capacity is really poor, meaning you cannot handle very much per session, full body workouts are going to feel absolutely brutal until you build it up. Now, work capacity is something that increases over time. So when you first start full body workouts, they can feel absolutely brutal. And then over time, you start to adjust to like how much you're doing in each workout. But if you just don't have the work capacity for it, like they're going to feel brutal, and you can either make the choice of like sticking with full body workouts until you build that up, or you can just do what I said earlier and switch to like a brief 3-day split where things are more divided. So the bottom line here, and sort of the whole point of this video, is to basically tell you like full body twice a week is king for most men over 40. For most guys, this is all you will ever have to do. And it's why I repeat it so much on this channel. I really think for most people's goals, it is the best workout split. But once you're strong enough that your intensity really suffers in your workouts because you're strong and like your training is very taxing on you, a 3-day split is generally the smarter move. And this is sort of what I'm running into right now in my own training. I'm starting like this workout vlog series where I'm start to share my workouts with you, and I wanted to basically do like the full body twice a week in order to show that, right? Because it's what I preach on this channel a lot. And I've started doing it, and I'm starting to run into this issue where I'm like, these workouts are so brutal. Like I can barely get through them without my intensity really, really suffering. So at the end of the day, and by the way, like I don't know if I'm going to stick with the full body twice a week for the remainder of my bulk this fall and winter. Maybe I'll switch back to doing like the 3-day split. Maybe I'll stick with a full body. Who knows? You'll find out once you start seeing the workout vlogs. But at the end of the day, like if I had to choose one split, I'd definitely still pick full body twice a week. It has a special place in my heart. It's what I've built most of my physique on. And I think for most people's goals and most people's lifestyle, it just makes the most sense. But when you're starting to get really strong and you notice that getting through your workouts is like brutal and your intensity just really suffers after the first exercise or two, that's when you might be better off switching to something a little bit more split up. And if you are going to do the 3-day split, keep the sessions very brief. I see a lot of people jump to like, you know, when I give them the go ahead, like I'll have clients where I'll give them the go ahead to do like 3 days instead of 2 when the time is right. And they'll just add way too much shit to the routines, and then they basically reach a state of overtraining and they stop making progress. So if you're going to do the 3 workouts a week, you got to be smart in terms of how you split it up, and you got to make sure that you don't put too much volume, too many different exercises, too many sets in those workouts, so that you don't overtrain, right? So that's the message for today. You guys can let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on this if you've had similar experiences, but I just wanted to share that with you just in case you're in that position where you're like, fuck, like these 2 workouts are like, I don't know if this is the best thing for me. These are starting to be really, you know, taxing on my system. I'm not like my intensity's suffering. Like you can definitely switch over to like a 3-day split routine as long as you keep them brief. And yeah, peace.